So apparently now I have a criminal record. Yes, it's true. A lot of you have been outraged, angered, and upset when I posted the letter I got from the City of London police outlining why I was fined and banned. And they said literally
it was because you didn't donate, Brian.
But you didn't donate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the $10 million studio. I'm your host, Coffeezilla. As you guys know, look, it's just one thing to it. Brian gets caught lying again, and the sun is caught rising again. Guys, two things that are just seem to be always true these days. Listen, I don't want to talk about Brian all the time, but he keeps telling these whoppers. And honestly, you know, nobody else is covering him. The news media is like, what, you have like 0.5% of the vote? Like, of course, they're not going to cover him. So it's up to us to do the due diligence on this guy and to cover one of the biggest, like, sort of laughing stocks of the internet. And nobody knows it. I feel like our community is the only one who knows the ridiculousness that is going on with Brian. So I feel obligated to keep this saga going. I literally have a playlist. He's one of the few people that I really have a dedicated playlist for, the London Real Saga. It charts the time from when Brian Rose was a respected podcaster who had great guests on all the way to this fall. And this is just another in a long series of just like he's tearing down his old reputation. So again, you just saw it. He was telling people that he has a criminal record.
I have a criminal record.
But the Reddit caught you, Brian. Apparently, this fine, which he conveniently only showed part of. You see, Brian Benedict Rose, funny middle name, by the way, Benedict. And at first, many people took this for what it looks like, which is a criminal complaint, some kind of criminal record. But in actuality, you go look at the details, and this man is lying. In actual fact, this was a standard 200-pound penalty, which, according to the website on this, it's payable within 28 days. And then if you pay the fine within 28 days, you won't be prosecuted for a criminal offense. Buddy, you got a speeding ticket and you're freaking out and crying victim. The level of the grift has just gone on so far. Look at this. I now have a criminal record, and underneath that, it says that arrest and detention could be considered as battery. What are you talking about? He was never arrested. He said he was arrested. He was never arrested. He was pulled over. They said, hey, actually, you can't do this. And he's like, hey, I feel like this is political. They're like, no, actually, this is like the entire city, right? He's like, what? I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. Remember when you were walking around flouting the law and then tried to pin it as like, oh, I was just going around innocently and they pulled me over as a political move. Guys, I don't believe that Brian Rose is so dumb that he really doesn't understand how a simple offense works. Like he can't read. I don't believe Brian is illiterate. I don't believe that about him. I think this guy is your class A grifter. He's been revealed for what he is. And finally, he's just really leaned into it. I mean, can you imagine, first of all, saying you were arrested when you weren't arrested? You were pulled over, right? It's like getting pulled over by the cops and then going, guys, you'll never believe I was thrown in the pen for for 24 hours. It's like, no, you weren't. Second of all, criminal offense. Well, guys, I have a criminal record now. No, you don't, Brian. Quit trying to be hard. You're trying to be pretend like you're this tough guy getting censored. You got a small fine, which, by the way, he's probably made far more in donations to cover the fine than the original fine has ever cost. All this cry of censorship and yada, 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 they're shutting me down. You know why he's doing it, right? He's doing it because the supporters' money comes a-flowing in when he says that. In other news of the terrible things Brian's been up to, he went to the graveyard. I don't know if you noticed, he was in the graveyard in the cemetery at that last picture, right? In that graveyard, he went around, I guess this was another day, I guess he walks around the graveyards a lot, but he goes there to apparently reflect on what the dead could do better. I'm not even kidding.
And I always like going by these graveyards and thinking about the people and the lives they lived. And quite frankly, always asking myself if they're wondering what else they could have done.
What's going on? Who are you? Who does that? You're going to a graveyard, broadcasting it, first of all, and going, I wonder if they could have hustled a little bit harder. I wonder if they wished they had taken the Brian Rose Broadcast Yourself Accelerator. I wonder if they had wished they had donated.
More could they have done? How much harder they could have pushed? How much more they could have donated? How much more they could have served? So it always makes me think, what did these people regret doing? And then it reminds me not to have those same regrets.
These old failures over here, I'm not going to be like them. I don't know. Listen, I don't want to take him in bad faith here. I think maybe there's a positive way to spin that message, but it comes off so narcissistic and tone deaf. And that's the point we're at with Brian. I mean, it's like everything he does is colored by what he keeps doing, where he keeps playing this game where he's like this persecuted guy who's going to graveyards going, yeah, loser, sitting over there. It's like, who is this man at this point? He's completely transformed. Honestly, he's unrecognizable. I want you to comment below. If you used to be a London Real fan, do you recognize the modern Brian Rose? I would love to know. But yeah, I really wanted to call this out thanks to the Reddit sleuths who figured this out. This is not a criminal record. This is a small, like, parking ticket. And Brian Rose is being a gigantic baby. I'd play more of the clip for you guys because there's a million clips that I've been dying to play, but Brian Rose, Mr. Free Speech, has started to take down videos that play any of his content, so I can't do that anymore. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
I know what you mean. This ain't what it seemed. Nothing but a trick, trying to sell me on a dream, but that was where you lost me. Wake up and smell the coffee.